Okay, welcome back to another episode of Horses and Archery. This is Archery Horses, and we are starting. What we're doing is we're starting two horses. Got a quarter horse, and we have a quarter horse paint, and both of them has already been started. I found out this one had already been started. I didn't know it when I got the horse, but the other one has been started and kind of had some hang-ups, and we're getting it straight. Now this one had trouble with the last two owners, I think, with running off. I know the one that has them now, and I've heard that the other one had trouble. I don't know if they did or not, but they were the horse just was running off and totally ignoring them, bucking a little bit, and the problem with this horse, I did the restart and everything with them. And you can go back to the previous videos and look at the horse restart. And I brought this one through it. And again, the last video, or video number 1 on archery horses, is when I checked him to see how sensitive he was to the arrows and the bows and all that stuff. Desensitized him and got him ready for this lesson right here. And so here we are. And what I'm doing now is a clover leaf pattern. And this is generally how I warm the horses up. I'll do something like this. Instead of lunging them or just cantering them around in circles, I generally do this, okay? If I'm going to be checking for anxiety and all this other stuff, I'm going to be constructive with it. So what I do is I just catch the horse, feed it, brush it down, put the saddle on it, and I'll start right away, okay? I just get on it and start riding, and this is where I am with that. And so what I'm doing here, again, is a cloverleaf pattern, okay? This was taught to me, or showed to me, by a guy named Aaron England. He's a really good natural horsemanship guy. He showed me this, probably at least 10 years ago, maybe 12, okay? It's been quite a while. And anyway, it works really good. And what it does is it teaches your horse to stay between your hands and your legs, okay? And what I mean by that is listening to your legs. If you cue him to the right, he goes to the right. You cue him to the left, he goes to the left, okay? And it introduces them to that, and it gets them really, it sharpens them up on it. And what you're doing is you're giving the horse a job. You have 4 cones, and you're going from cone to cone in a clover leaf pattern. And if you notice right here, I'm going to come across, and I'm going to ask him to go to the right. And what I'm doing is I'll cue him with my legs first, and if he doesn't respond, I immediately cue him with the reins, okay? And always cue him with your legs first, then the reins. Legs first, then the reins. And your reins are reinforcing your legs. And ultimately what you want to wind up with is the horse, you being able to just put the reins on the saddle horn and not ever touch them, okay? If you notice here, I don't really look at the direction that I'm going in this, and I'm doing that kind of on purpose because I don't want the horse to get used to following my head or my upper body. In the regular arena events, in other disciplines, you would move your head in the direction that you wanted to go. You look in the direction that you want to go. In archery, you don't want the horse to start picking up on that because you're going to be looking at the target, and you want the horse to run forward. You don't want him turning into the target because you're shifting your body weight to that side. What you want him to do is listen to your legs, okay? You're riding the horse with your belly button down, okay? You're shooting the bow with your belly button up, okay? And that's what you're trying to accomplish here, is to get that across to the horse. And if you notice, I'm carrying my bow, I got my arrows, everything. All of this is to help this horse to understand all of this stuff, because your body position is going to change whenever you put your bow down, whenever you're not riding with a bow versus riding with a bow in your hand, or with your quiver on. Okay, so you want to get your horse used to this. And I switch hands with my bow. I go left, right, and do all kind of things, and just get the horse used to listening to my feet. Okay, and not worried so much about which direction my upper body is pointing, because you're going to have to shoot forward, you're going to have to shoot backwards, you're going to have to shoot straight to the side, you're going to have to shoot up in the air, all kinds of different directions. So you need to get the horse used to this and the horse understanding this. Okay, so I look all over the place. I look down at the ground, look at his head. I look up and down, look all over, and kind of twist my body and stuff as we get more advanced with this. Okay, and it's a good practice for you to be able to work your legs independent of everything else. Because if you ever want to get off the track and you want to do barrierless archery, which is really fun, okay, your horse needs to be able to do this, and you need to be able to ride like this. You need to be able to direct your horse with your legs around obstacles, around cones, down trails, and be able to shoot and point your upper body in any direction it needs to be pointed in association with the target, and the horse to continue to go in the direction that your lower body is telling him to. And this is a really good exercise to do this. Okay, so now when I first introduced him to this target, I got him to where I could shoot and then he would stop. Okay, he'll do this off the track. He'll do that off the track. So now I'm wanting him to do it on the track. I'm transferring that to the track. And the reason why is I want this horse to start to anticipate a stop every time I shoot a target. Okay. If he's anticipating a stop every time he hears that target thump, that's going to go a long way to keeping him from speeding up after every target. A lot of times the anxiety will build as you're going down the track. You bring him up to a canter, his emotions kind of get heightened, and then he hears that pop and he'll speed up, and then he hears another pop and they speed up. Okay, and again, I kind of talked about that on the last video. Whenever you're just going forward and shooting this target without stopping, they're going to associate just forward movement with the target. So every time something happens to stimulate their emotions, like that pop of that target, or you moving your bow or grabbing the arrow real quickly, they're going to say, okay, I got to move forward. Let's go faster. And before you know it, you're just running down the track. Emotions gets up and up and up and up, and then the horse is running off, and you can't do anything about it. It's really hard to correct. So with this, what I'm doing is I'm teaching them to anticipate a stop after every target. Okay? If you do this first, before you just start walking down the track and shooting, it'll go a long way to help you from keeping your horse from getting where he's just wanting to run off. Okay? So what I want him to do is I want to walk by the target, shoot, and him get to where he's automatically stopping. Okay, if you notice what I'm doing here, I'm backing the horse up. I'll stop and I'll back the horse up. I'm also at the same time I'm using this opportunity to to get this horse to start to collect a little bit. Now, the way I get collection out of a horse is I'll shoot, and right here I'm lifting the reins, and I'll do it going backwards. I'll put him in reverse and ask for collection. Okay, I don't ask for collection and while they're moving forward that much, because I don't want them just running through the bit. I don't want to dull their mouth up. If you do this and teach them to give you collection in reverse when they're listening to your seat, it goes a long ways on making them real soft in their mouth. It's just the way I do it. In another episode, I might explain that a little bit more. But that's what I'm doing right here. I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm going to shoot and then ask him to stop. Hopefully he'll stop by himself. He's not. He's just keeping on. And so then I'll ask him to collect a little bit and back up. And then we'll stop, okay? And we'll keep doing that until he does that automatic. I want him to stop automatically. I want him to, whenever I ask him to back up, I want him automatically to go into collection. So when I rock him back on his back end, I want him collected, okay? All that's going to come in time. But this is how you start to get it, okay? So if you notice, he's not stopping on this track. And I'm guessing, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing it's because of the way he was introduced before to mounted archery. I don't think this was done with, well, I know it wasn't done with him because he'd be doing it. So what they did is just, what most people do is they'll just start walking their horse past the target, and they just get them to go to point A to point B, okay? Start line to finish line on a 90-meter track. Start at the start, stop at the finish, okay? And they just shoot the targets in between. And again, a lot of times when you do that, they're going to associate the break with the end of the track, and they're going to want to get down there faster. Now you see right here where I'm kind of getting on to him right there. If you notice, he started walking off the track, and no, you don't leave the track, okay? You stay on the trail, you stay on the track, and I kind of corrected him for that, and you don't want that to get started. So if you notice what this horse is doing right now, he's kind of ignoring me, okay? He's going into just a program mode, okay? It's a deal where a lot of people will start them and they just want the horse to maintain speed and direction, and that's it, okay? They'll set their speed, they set their direction, keep going at it. I don't want that. I want the horse listening to me. I want to be able to control the horse at all times. I want to be able to speed them up and slow them down when I'm on the track. I want to be able to, if I go to a barrierless course, I want to be able to control them. I don't want to just sit on a track the whole time. I want to have control of my horse. And so what we're going to do is right here, he is getting to where he's just ignoring my legs, okay? I'll go and stop him. See how I'm leaning back right there? He's just ignoring me. He's not really paying attention to me. Just continuing to walk. He's not anxious. He's not scared. He's just ignoring me, okay? And it started off not too bad, and now it's getting progressively worse, okay? He's starting to ignore me more and more and more, and he's starting to get a little harder to stop. So what I'm going to do is, so you want to keep going down the track? We're going to keep going down the track. So now I just took him off at a trot, and I'm going to canter all the way around my track. Here I am coming up the other side. And now I'm going to ask him again. Do the same thing. Stop. You don't want to stop? I'll take you off again. Now this track goes around to those trees back there, kind of close to them. And it's about a quarter mile long. You see me coming in the back. I'll show you that's how big the track is, okay? And if you notice, I wanted to show you this to let you know that I'm not just ripping on this horse. It's just an easy trot and canter, just a little easy canter. And when we get around this other side, I'm going to ask him to go back down to a walk and shoot and ask him to stop again. If he doesn't stop, right there, I'm asking him, he ain't listening, so we're going to take off again. And again, we go around the track again. I got him in the canter. Now this time, I didn't stop. I'm going twice, okay? You want to run? We can go. You want to keep moving your feet? And we can move your feet. So come in, I ask him to stop again. Kind of gives me kind of a sloppy one, okay? He was thinking about getting off of the track. He didn't stop square, He didn't keep going, but that was really sloppy, okay? But I give it to him a little bit. I stop, just allow him to stop, to let him know he can stop, okay? Just give him a little bit of a break. All right. Then we do it again. I bring him around the track again. I start to slow him down. Got him to a walk, shoot, and he stopped. That was good. And that was just minimal effort, to get him to stop. So that was good. So I'm going to turn him around. We're not going to go around the track again. I'm going to bring him right back up to where we started. And I'm going to ask him to do the same thing that I asked him to do the very first time, okay? Just walk past the target, and when I shoot it, stop. Let's see if he can do it. Bam. And he stopped. Good. See? That's all he had to do. So I'm going to end the session right there. And if you notice, I'm not going to walk him off of the track. What I'm going to do is I'm leaving him on the track, and I'm going to walk him all the way back down to the start. And before I take him off the track, I don't want him starting to leave the track. He tried to leave it a couple of times, and so I'm just going to instill in him to stay on the track. All right, so some of y'all might be asking, why not just take this horse and canter him around in circles, warm him up a little bit more, okay, until he's asking to stop, and then do this exercise, okay? Yeah, I'd do that with some horses. A horse that's really bad about running off, that's been running off for quite a while, and just really fast down the track, and you cannot slow him down. That's what I would do. I would run him around, basically cantered him in circles, got him to do figure eights and stuff, and just kept doing that until he asked to stop, and then I would put him on the track and do this with him. Okay. This horse's problem isn't that he's worried and running off. This horse's problem is that he is ignoring the person that's trying to ride him. He just decides, I ain't doing it. I'm just going to do what I want. And if I just do what I want, then they'll leave me alone. So that's what's in his mind. So with him, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work him fresh, okay? And fresh is what I mean. What I mean by fresh is I'm going to just catch him, feed him, brush him, put the saddle on him, and go straight to riding, okay? And I'm not going to. My warm up is going to be kind of what I'm doing, like with that butterfly pattern and stuff. And I'm not gonna wear the horse out. It's just gonna be real simple, just to move him around a little bit, uh, make sure he didn't have any kind of anxiety, and then I'm gonna start the training on him because I want him listening to me. I don't want him just saying, "Okay, I'll just listen," just to get him off my back. Okay, I'm tired and I want to quit, so I better listen to him. I don't want that. I want him listening to me because it's the right thing to do. It's what he needs to be doing. So that's why I did that. So what I did is I did just the opposite of what most people would do. What a lot of people would do, they would canter the horse, just like I was saying, around in circles or whatever, and get him to where he's asking to stop, and then do this. Okay. Um, Again, I do that sometimes. Depends on the horse. What I did with this horse was I asked him to stop first, and when he didn't listen, then I cantered him. Okay. Then we did the circle game. We just ran around in circles until he asked to stop, and then I went back and asked him to do the same thing that I asked him to do to begin with. And what this is going to wind up doing with this horse is he is going to figure out that he needs to just listen the first time. If he doesn't listen the first time, if he doesn't listen, there's going to be a whole lot of work involved with this. If he just listens the first time, that's going to be the minimum work that he's going to have to do. So that's what I want him to start understanding. I don't want him to start thinking he can protest and get people off of him, and that'll end the session. That's not what we're going to do. He's going to listen and do good, and then we can quit and go home. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoying these videos. If you are, just like it and subscribe to them, and I'm gonna keep posting a bunch more. It's gonna be doing all kind of stuff, not just the horses, but we're gonna get into archeries and bows and shooting and all kind of other things. So again, thank y'all for tuning in, and hope to see you again.